Okay, so this is the test of the 1176, serial number 114310890, Silverface 1176. This unit is approximately 50 years old, maybe 40 plus years old. And the first thing we're going to do is just show the date here. I don't know how well this is going to come out, but here's the daily news from today's paper, June 22nd, 2013. So Saturday, June 22nd is the date of this test as verified by that newspaper. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to power on the 1176 by pressing the power on button, and we'll notice that it takes a moment for it to warm up and for the meter to reach 0 on the gain reduction setting, which is the top setting. And what we see is that as it has warmed up, the meter is not reached exactly 0. It's measuring actually minus 1.5 or so. And as a very standard procedure, we can simply adjust that using this little set screw and trim it to be precisely correct at a 0 dB. The operation takes all of 5 seconds. So there it is. So now your unit is calibrated for use during the period, and this is typical of equipment that's 40 years old. It may drift a little bit, and that's just the way that stuff is. So easy to set and easy to calibrate for recording purposes. So we're using an M49 dynamic microphone for this test, and now we're going to plug in the 1176, and you will actually hear the unit operating. So, okay, now the unit is in line and is operating. And in order to get it to, you can see that it's doing precisely what it's supposed to do on the peaks. It limits the peaks, and during the threshold is set fairly high so that during normal conversation it doesn't implement any gain reduction. So we can adjust that a little bit for unity gain, but it looks pretty good. Our input level can come up a little bit. And of course, so that's it. That's operating at 4:1 ratio, which means a gain reduction of 4 dB to 1 dB for each 4 dB of gain on the input side versus the output side. And it's operating fine. That's what it's doing now is precisely correct. If we wanted a slower release time, we could turn this knob to clockwise, and you'll notice that the meter is now a little bit less bouncy. It'll drift back a little bit more than it does bounce back. That's one of the great things about this unit, is it has this adjustability of attack and release. Similarly, this is a very quick attack. If we want to let a little transient through, we can turn the attack button counterclockwise, and it will give us a little bit less gain reduction on the attack, which some people like as a setting. I personally like it to have almost an immediate attack and a very quick release, so I use more or less this setting here. The ratios are separate circuits. We can switch to 8:1 ratio for vocal. There it is. That gives you a more dramatic or more drastic limiting when you're recording. All of this, by the way, we're hearing the results of what's coming through this unit now. And, again, this can be adjusted to suit the level that's required. And that's it. You can hear it for yourself. The unit is fully functional and working fine.